Street Roots, Rosehaven, and the Q Center.
In the past year, the county has supplied more than 24,000 tarps and more than 6,500 tents through various avenues.
And see, and the thing about this tent thing, okay, before I continue later play, the thing about it as a trip is the fact that, like I just said, sporting goods stores, if you can just hand out 16, look at the price, man, 6,500, okay, 6,500 tents. Why would anybody want to go to a sporting goods store to buy tents anymore? All you can do is pretend to be homeless, go get a tent. It's so shitty. So pretty much a sporting goods store that sells tents and tent equipment, camping equipment, period, is up against the city giving it away naturally free to whoever it pretends to be. I mean, literally, drug addicts, no different. You can be a drug dealer and pretend to be able to make bank out there around the drug addicts.
Records show Central City Concern got the most, 680 tarps and 260 tents. Their spokesperson told KGW in a statement, in part, quote, Central City Concern's approach is in alignment with Multnomah County's in terms of viewing tent and tarp distribution as necessary life safety interventions. The distribution of tents and tarps allow us to center the humanity of people living outside who otherwise would have no protection from the elements, and also facilitates opportunities for our outreach teams to build trust and relationships.
So the thing about Central City Concern, for those of y'all that don't, City Concern actually housing. But it's a little bit more than that. It helps people that are drug addicted get off drugs. And once you're in housing, these frankly kick out. That's the difference between City Concern, something like HUD, you know, anything like that. So they're like more of a, we'll house you, but we're better state, so you're not drugs, and we'll make sure that you're not place to enable other people. That's the difference. And they also to help motivate people that may not have a job or want a stronger job. So it's just something to think about. They're all right of a company, but at the same time, greed takes over even the list of profit. So anyway.
All right, so at this one site, we've counted 9 tarps and 3 tents, and not all of them are used for staying out of the elements.
I hardly ever sleep in them.
Instead, Taisha uses her tents for storage, and Jennifer, she's addicted to fentanyl.
It's really just something to do. Boredom, really.
She uses her tent as a private place to smoke.
I don't think it should be illegal, but I don't think you should do it in front of, youngsters.
So, like I said, the interview goes terribly bad. Now, we're showing the negative of this woman. I'll give her a little credit because she's saying she should do it in front of kids. That's the truth. Shouldn't enable a whole generation of kids think it's okay and cool. So, fucked up. Okay? And at the same time, showing these tarps and the whole chaoticness of it. It doesn't make sense.
Records also show Rapid Response, the commercial cleaning company the city pays $26 million to clear homeless camps, removed 8,000 to 12,000 tents in the past year. Arguably, many of the same tents Multnomah County paid for.
I'm very impressed with what's happening at the county level, and I just wish the city would.
So this agency so the company they're talking about where they got paid $26 million to get rid of these tens of people the city brought in, the way she said it. But the thing about it is that place didn't need to be there. There was a cleaning place before where it was almost like what do you call it? Community service. But it was for prisoners. So prisoners that was already in prison go and they would clean these sites out for free, get time off or reduce time and get money, of course. Because some people don't give a shit about you when you go to jail or prison. And if they're not that close to you, really, because it shows you who your real friends and family is. And if you don't have anybody reaching out to you, you have to work these shitty ass jobs that the prison gives to you. And so that's what they were doing. They were having prisoners run around, clean all these sites, and then all of a sudden that became bad. It's some crap, whatever nonsense it was. I forget what it was. And so then they created this agency to come clean up city and stuff. But now you see them, but you don't really see them. And there's another one called Clean something. Like they're kind of like cleaning cops in a way. It's like they report the cops on stuff and clean the things up. It's so weird. I have no idea how they came up with that one, but it works somehow. But anyway,
Row along with us instead of constantly putting obstacles in the way.
Some Portland City Commissioners see it differently.
This vicious cycle of whack-a-mole and people moving down the street with new tents and tarps from public entities or nonprofits, we have to stop this cycle in our community.
look at this real quick. This is how it looks on a normal day when homeschool congregate together to take up a whole block. Like there was this one block, like 9 blocks, straight like this, full of tents. And I was catching the MAX, which is the public transportation. It's like the, I guess we call subway, but above ground subway here in Portland. Anyway, light rail. And man, the whole 9 blocks, all down there. Like, whoa, why are they taking over side of town? And they let it happen. Then it's even more confusing. Now there's, there's actually a concert area around. It gets complicated with the big ass tour. There's so much shit, man. Hard to explain.
Community.
All right, so clearly a divisive issue here. The city wants people to accept their offer for shelter, but there needs to be more of it. The county says as they wait for more shelter to open, they will continue to hand out tents and tarps because they see that as a way to save lives. David?
So that was a whole.
I never remember the code.
That was that whole interview. What I was trying. None of it was perfect, and it was just the way I was trying to show the video to explain that. It's always gonna be something with these, but the thing is, here you got the people clean cities going find these people. Homeless people tends to die or whatever they want. Most of them will burn up. There's a lot of tents that burn up and shit. And you don't know whose side the city, because here you got those people getting free stuff. Like I said, businesses can lose because if they, especially sporting goods place, because there's tents being sold. At the same time, you got they're supposed to clean, and then they clean up crap that the city's providing, but yet the city keeps giving them tents. It's an endless cycle. It just goes round and round. It doesn't make any sense. It helps nobody. Okay, it has to be area. I'm trying to tell you, pay for a whole thing, 400 acres of land. Start trying to make a small society for you. Or either just push to a certain area, and that's where they stay. Pick a part of town you feel that is inhabitable for you, and people don't want it no more. I'm saying inhabitable, but just like that's unhuman. But one where don't go to a decline and maybe start pushing them in the area. I don't even. None of that makes. All I can tell you is there's this prison, and they fought for years to try to get it to be shelter. Now it finally is. It took a wealthy person in town to buy it and try to make it shelter. But as soon as he bought it, tried to end that whole city, didn't think it was humane. Some protest crap and all this crap that kept going on to stop it from shelter. And this wealthy guy took it over, and I did DoorDash. Came through there. I was like, "What is this place?" And because I was driving there, it was almost like a military base, long ass thing, fences and shit. And he's like, "No, I'm homeless in shelter." I said, oh shit, that's what this is, right? And it wasn't like in a way where I'm like, oh shit, like this is funny type of thing, but it was like, yeah, this is actually secure. I mean, the place was nice. It was decked out. Inside, you could look through windows from the outside or what it looked like in there. It wasn't like they were trapped in the were just prison. It actually looked like some kind of business or some kind of, federal business. And yeah, they didn't have too much stuff. That's why they call them DoorDash to bring out that. But I mean, you can easily put a franchise there, 7-Eleven, something, McDonald's. I get McDonald's, 7-Eleven, maybe, or something like that. Um, but it wasn't like an inhumane thing. It was actually pretty sound. And the guy was feeling a little down, but I said, hey man, let him know, as long as you got drive to try to make it happen, you can happen. Thing that makes people back because they stuck in their mind about it. First thing you need to think of, how can I get out of this situation? How can I survive? Number one thing, what do I need to do? We gotta find an opportunity, any type of job, anything to bring money, income, and then we gotta find a way to stretch that income by either stacking it in some kind of investment, saving in some kind of way. And the next thing you agenda is a vehicle. You need to find a way to get some kind of vehicle, some kind of way of transportation to get you around. Eat that way you can either get more stuff like food or equipment you need for whatever hobby that you're planning to do that might make more income, more money, that might just be able to be the thing to help you, move on. Or get a truck. Truck is the number one thing if you become homeless or anything like that. Be able to give you money because you can easily become a mover, move things for people, dump it. You can say I charge $40 a dump something, whatever it is. Truck is the number one thing. People try to tell you don't buy a flatbed, buy a truck, yo. Yeah, people talking about it's a gas guzzler or whatever. So what? Get it. It's gonna put money in your pocket. You can put $10, $50, whatever, in there to try to get the thing to keep going. But if you need a truck to make money, men need trucks. You're trying to get the fast car and all this crap because you're not gonna be freaking Mario Andretti. You're not gonna be this badass car driver, and you're not gonna be this badass. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Get a truck. Best way to get yourself off the streets. And I'm not talking about like a RV. That, that's if you want to stay on. But yeah, so you gotta constantly find ways to keep money going in. Don't sit back and get comfortable for 1 minute situation you in when it comes to being homeless or being in a shelter. Because if you're not on drugs like the rest of them and accepting it, then you're a fool. Like, get comfortable. So, and that's just my opinion.